Hi, my name is Mohammed Sarwar and welcome to our CWTC Get Connected Community Podcast to share experiences, promote your services and networking and great opportunities available for residents of Oldham. Are you an entrepreneur? Can you identify opportunities, take calculated risks and use your innovative ideas to establish and grow your business? Have you got a unique idea or solution to a problem and would like to transform these concepts into a viable business? Then look no further. We have invited just the right person, Graham Mckendric, manager from Oldham Enterprise Trust, who can provide you the right support to bring your venture into reality. Graham, welcome to the studio.
Thanks, Mohammed. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh no, thank you very much for coming. Been a long time trying to get you into the studio. How's things with you?
Good, thank you. We're still doing all the things we do, so this is a great opportunity to put it out there and tell people more about it.
Absolutely. And just the right service to help you promote the excellent work that you're doing. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
Well, as for me, I'm from Scotland. I'm not from Oldham, but I've been down here since 1978, which is beyond most people's memory. Anyway. So I'm not an entrepreneur, and I've never run a business, which is a bit strange perhaps, but I've always worked in the public sector really. And about 10 years ago, I joined Oldham Enterprise Trust. And that was the beneficiary of a donation from a private individual called Sir Norman Stoller, who people may have heard of, may not have heard of, but he's a very wealthy man, but a very generous man. And he's provided funding to help young people aged 16 to 30 to start a business.
Superb.
Now, Sir Norman's 89 now, so he's kind of hung up his philanthropic boots. So now we work with an organisation called the Prince's Trust, and they provide grants, I think, through the good offices of NatWest Bank of up to £2,000 for people aged 18 to 30. So a slight change in the age and slight change in the grants, but still there for people who have got an idea, who want to start a business, or are within the first 3 years of trading.
Brilliant. So when all these great opportunities are available through you and the good work that you're doing, and it's great for business community to be involved in helping the community and especially the young people. Brilliant. So when we talk about being an entrepreneur, what does that actually mean?
Well, there's two sides to this. There can be somebody who's self-employed, right? You've been employed for years, as I say, painter and decorator.
Yeah.
You get made redundant, you can't get a job, but you think, do you know what, I'm well known on my estate. If I get some flyers done, put them through the doors, I can make a living for myself. If that doesn't work, that person goes back to being a painter and decorator, if they can, employed. An entrepreneur is slightly different in that they're always looking for business opportunities. So they've got the business side of it rather than dependent on the occupational knowledge or occupational skill. So they might do retail one time, that doesn't work. They might do catering. They move between industries. And they don't always have the skills for that industry, but they've got the business know-how perhaps to do that.
And it is those skills that are very important. Person who knows that they've got a place in the market.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. You can be good at, say, painting and decorating, but you've got to sell your business. You've got to keep your accounts. You've got to pay your taxes.
And you've got to make it grow.
And that's right. And you've got to, if you do employ someone, you've got to make sure they're up to the standard that you have set yourself. So there's the back end of running a business and the front end, which is delivering the service. So, but self-employment can be very flexible. It can be part-time. It doesn't have to be full-time. It can be married to another job, an employed job. And it can be something that you have more control over in terms of hours of work, location of work, stuff like that. So, for example, we have a young lad who we funded. He's a medical student in Edinburgh University. He doesn't work in McDonald's or Sainsbury's to top up his earnings. He runs an online business, believe it or not, selling ladies' perfume.
Brilliant.
And he feels that gives him more control over how he earns money and the times of work and everything like that.
And it's about using your own innovative skills.
That's right. I mean, there's a lot of... We run a program from time to time called Elemental. That has been developed by Lancaster University, and it's about the softer skills needed for business. So we don't... It doesn't go straight into saying, you've got to do a business plan or you've got to do a cash flow. It's more about saying, can you manage your time? And people will go, nah, I'm not good at that. But you go and pick your kids up from school every day at the same time, you take them to school. Can you manage a budget? Well, you've only got so much money a week, and you have to live by that.
So you actually provide those soft skills for people to upgrade themselves.
Getting the awareness of it. It's like the guy who goes down the pub playing darts. Are you good at maths? No.
Yeah.
But as soon as he throws his darts, he can count up straight away what he scored.
Yes.
So these are predicated on being run in community access points. So to give you an example, they ran one in Blackpool for single mums, and it was run in the laundrette because that's where they all congregated, and it was a comfortable place for people to be. So there's lots of ways of getting people to realise their potential, and that it's not always rocket science. You don't have to be Richard Branson. But you just have to use the skills that you've been given
and
to develop.
A small idea can go so far.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Right.
You know, in terms of the sport, for the Oldham Entrepreneurship Startup Business Program, can you explain a bit more detail? I know you started off with...
Yeah, well, the funding is obviously important, but almost more important is the support. Now, we don't deliver the support ourselves, but we do it through a range of partners. So, for example, for the funding, that's done by the Prince's Trust. They run an enterprise program which we've sat in on. It's very good. It's online, so you don't have to go to Manchester or anywhere else, and it helps you get your thoughts together about the business. Is it going to fly? Is it going to sink like a stone? And it gives them that support. Plus, they get a business mentor for 12 months from that program. But there's a lot of other support out there in Oldham. The library runs a program called Build a Business, which involves workshops and one-to-one sessions. And there is an organisation that covers Greater Manchester called the Business Growth Hub, and they have a wide range of services, including stuff for startups. And again, anybody wanting to know more about them can just contact me and we'll connect.
You have a tremendous amount of knowledge and networking database. Everybody knows you, and your good friend Kashif.
Oh, Kashif, yes.
Yeah, I need to get him over here.
He is a legend.
Isn't he?
He is a legend.
He's a character, definitely. But he's a great guy. And signposting, and you've done a lot of signposting for me as well, and referred people on, and that's been very valuable. And it is a cornerstone of an effective advice network. Where your client can move from one agency to another and receive all the advice and the benefits. What methodology do you actually employ for your clients?
I think what we try to do is to create an ecosystem of support that is connective rather than competitive, so that everybody's got their own targets if they're funded or if they've got to generate funding, but we try and get people to understand that if we work together, it's going to be beneficial for everyone, especially the client, who sometimes gets forgotten in all this because people want to tick a box and get a brownie point or whatever it is to meet their contract. So it's important. So that's why we try and run a lot of networking events or we have done in the past, and we'll come on to Startup Huddle, which is another event.
Yeah, that was my next question, really. The networking event today at Oldham College, and it was great to be there and learning a lot around digital inclusion.
Indeed, yeah.
And it's fantastic to know so many Oldham-based businesses doing international level work.
Absolutely.
So many jobs, opportunities, work placements are coming through, and we hope to get a lot of information out there for the community, particularly for the voluntary sector.
Good.
I think the digital inclusion is so paramount for this sector.
Absolutely.
And with your sport as well. And
well, there is digital poverty as much as there's food poverty and heat poverty and stuff like that.
So supporting all Oldham startups through your Startup Huddle program.
Startup Huddle is part of, and this will blow your socks off, the Global Entrepreneurship Network. Ta-da!
Wow.
And so, in fact, there are about 90 startup huddles all over the world.
Okay.
But we were the first in the UK. There are about 4 in the UK now, and I think we are the best attended. It's hard to say that you're the best, but
that's a great achievement. Well done,
I think
Oldham.
we're the best attended.
Yeah.
And what it is every first Wednesday of the month in Oldham Library, 2 businesses tell about their journey. So it's not a sales pitch as such, although they're telling people about their business, but it's more where somebody will say, I started off really well and then I've hit a bump in the road and I don't really know what to do. Or, oh, it was terrible at first, it's really been slow, and then suddenly it took off, and now I need help, I need to employ somebody and I haven't got a clue what to do. And the audience, who are just peers, other small businesses, will ask questions, make suggestions. So it's really a peer support group.
I think you've got an event coming up in Oldham Library, which I've signed up for.
In a couple of hours,
Brilliant. And hope to see.
Well, we've got 2 great
providers,
great employers today,
Okay.
great businesses today. So.
Well done. Okay, we shouldn't forget our young people.
No.
They are our future, and and we have to keep up with them as well. So the Ideas Factory.
Well, the Ideas Factory is a kind of a new project that we're hoping to get going in January, and it's really about bringing young people aged 16 to 25 alongside experienced business people for 2 reasons. One, for those experienced business people to deliver a masterclass, if that's not too pretentious a word, on enterprise topics. So it might be on finance, it might be on sales, it might be on accounting or whatever, different subjects. One of the things we found in the pandemic was that the level of resilience of businesses was very low, and as soon as things hit for a couple of months, they folded. So it's about how do you develop that kind of resilience is one thing. So it's bringing those together for the master classes, but also to give them a mentor who they can... A mentor is not somebody who's going to tell you what to do, but there's somebody who's going to let you bounce ideas off them, and they might go, so they'll give you an idea whether it's maybe something go forward with. So the Ideas Factory is a building on work that's already done in schools by an organisation called Young Enterprise, who we've supported over the years, who deliver a thing called the Company Programme. I mean, schools are great, and I'm not critical of them, but one area where they maybe lack a bit of expertise is in the area of self-employment or enterprise. And what we're trying to do is encourage people to be more enterprising. That doesn't necessarily mean start your own business today or tomorrow, but to have a mindset that puts you on the front foot rather than waiting for fate to deal you an awful hand.
Schools are a great startup because that's the time when you start focusing on things. It's like giving you career advice, isn't it?
So we're looking to get a few young people. We've still got places available. If you know any young people who've got business idea or a project idea, or who just would like to be part of this, listen to experienced business people, get the benefit of a mentor, and come up with an idea that they can maybe use.
Brilliant. And we will have your details at the end of the video. People can contact them. And thank you for inviting me as well to be part of the scheme.
You're very welcome.
I hope I can contribute.
I'm sure you will.
You're most welcome. And so you have many projects going on. So tell us any recent ones that's coming up.
We've got a couple of STEM projects. So
what is the STEM?
What is STEM?
Yes.
And I'm going to struggle to remember, but it's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's actually often called STEAM. You put an A in the middle, which is arts.
Okay.
So take your pick. But Oldham has a phenomenal tradition in engineering and manufacturing. Going back to Platt Brothers and their relationship with Toyota cars and all the rest of it, the mills and all those things. And even today now, in Oldham, there are some really high-tech businesses. I mentioned, I think, diodes before, innovative technology, crane payments.
3D, come across them today, yes.
And I mean, when you go to the supermarket and it goes, put it back in the bagging area, and you think, who thought of this? But I think that came from Oldham, So Oldham has some really high-tech, high-skill, high-wage jobs.
Yes.
But Oldham remains a low-skill, low-wage town. And some of it, not the whole thing, but some of the answer is to get kids' aspirations up, demystify STEM or engineering and manufacturing. It is not all oil and swarfiga.
Sure.
It's very high tech.
Yes.
It's very clean, and it is a very interesting area of work, which, if you think about it, impinges on everything. There's engineering in everything. We used to run a program called Primary Engineer, and the guy who was head of that came down from Scotland, and he had a classroom full of kids, and he starts playing a guitar, and you think, what a show off, what's he on about? He's meant to be talking about STEM. And then he stopped and said, where are the gears on a guitar?
Wow.
And the gears are actually called frogs
on the stems,
at the end of the guitar, and that's a gear. And so engineering is into everything, and we don't always appreciate the value of it.
Graham, it's been a fantastic session to know so much happening and what you're delivering as a service, and would like to invite you back again and get an update on many other things that you do. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Just to say, if people do have enterprising ideas or they want to start their own business, get in touch, because we can maybe shortcut. You can spend hours on Google looking for business support, business finance, this, that and the other, and we can maybe help shortcut that. And just a request, if there are young people out there listening, if you're interested in the Ideas Factory, it's going to run once a month, the last Thursday of the month, in Positive Steps Oldham at 4:30, and there are some places available. And I think it'll be a good project for people to be able to connect with experienced business people and broaden their network of contacts in Oldham.
That's another good incentive, is to broaden the network, make connections.
Absolutely.
You never know.
Not what you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Sometimes.
Yeah, and you mentioned like earlier on, just ladies coming together to do this laundry business.
Yes.
You don't have to be an IT geek to be doing things. You could just come up with a simple idea, get the support you need from services like you, and on your way.
That's right. And I mean, if you're getting advice, it can help you avoid some of the common pitfalls that lots of people fall into and make. And running a business can be very lonely, and there's no boss to ask, there's no workmates to ask. And you maybe let that get on top of you. But there's a lot of support out there through the Business Growth Hub, through Build a Business in the Library, through Oldham Enterprise Trust, and funding available too. If you're a social enterprise, there's a new social investment fund called Proper Good.
Yes.
And it is proper good if you need a loan to start a social enterprise business, a business that's got a social purpose. And again, anybody get in touch with me and I can connect you with them. It's easy done.
Graham, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And there you are, lots of great opportunities and support available for residents of Oldham. So if you've got a great idea and you can manage and want to grow and become a businessman, go and see Graham at the Oldham Enterprise Trust. And thank you very much for listening and watching. See you next time. God bless.